Hello and welcome to the Black Entrepreneur Blueprint Show. I am your host, Jay Jones. Black Entrepreneur Blueprint was created specifically to educate and inspire Black entrepreneurs to launch, build, and grow successful businesses. Join us as we help build an economic power base in the Black community by promoting business ownership. If you are currently an entrepreneur or want to be an entrepreneur, we invite you to join us every week here at Black Entrepreneur Blueprint.
Welcome to the Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, episode number 183. I'm your host, Jay Jones, and today, if you're interested in making money, you want to pay attention to today's episode. Today's show title is 7 Steps to Exploding Your Business Using Native Advertising. 7 Steps to Exploding Your Business Using Native Advertising. Now, if you're a BEB family member and have listened to some of my previous shows, I've talked about native advertising, but I hadn't gone in depth because it's a very intense subject. And even today, I'm going to go a little deeper, but I'm not going to be able to go as deep as I want because I just want to give you a macro look, and then we're going to zone in a little bit, and I'm going to give you 7 steps about how to use native advertising to help explode your business. And this is good for a product-based business or a service-based business. It could be a brick and mortar or it can be an e-commerce business. So you can use native advertising with all types of businesses to drive traffic. But before we start that, we need to define what native advertising is. Now, native advertising is a form of paid media advertising that is in-feed and non-disruptive and matches the form and function of the platform it appears on. I'm going to repeat that. Native advertising is a form of paid media advertising that is in-feed and non-disruptive and matches the form and function of the platform that it appears on. Now, if you go to a website like MSN.com, right? CNN.com, ESPN.com, entrepreneur.com. Most of your major websites have native advertising on the site, and you may not even be aware of it. So as I'm recording this, I'm just going to go to MSN.com. All right. And in the pictures in the news feed, I'm looking right now, and I see a picture of a guy holding dollars in his hand. And the title is The Fastest Way to Pay Off $10,000 in Credit Card Debt. And it says sponsored. That means that's a native ad. That means somebody is paying to be on MSN.com. So when I click that picture, it's taking me to a website called comparecards.com. And what that is, it's a credit card site that shows you different credit cards. And I'm sure if I signed up for a credit card, then that person, whoever owns the site, would make money for me taking that action. Okay, it's cost per action. Okay, so that's what native advertising is. So a lot of times you'll be going through your favorite websites and you won't even know that you're clicking onto an ad. You'll think it's just a news story or something that's applicable to that website because it's in feed and it's non-disruptive, unlike a banner ad. And one of the reasons that a lot of people are moving toward native advertising is people don't click on banner ads anymore. Banner ads are disruptive. Okay. They call it banner blindness. You're so used to seeing banner ads, you don't even see them. But if you see an article that catches your attention or you have some interest in, you're going to click on that. So that's why native advertising has been responsible for blowing up my business, some of my businesses that I use it in. And so we're going to go today and talk about 7 steps to explode your business using native advertising. Now, you can use native advertising for a product business, for a service business, for a brick and mortar business, for any type of business. Okay? So, and we're going to go over that right now. So I just wanted you to understand what native advertising is first. Now, I also want to let you know that if you own a website that has a decent amount of traffic, you can profit from native advertising by offering spaces on your website where these native advertising platforms can display different ads. All right, just like MSN.com, CNN.com, ESPN.com. So if you have a popular website that has a decent amount of traffic, you can monetize that site by allowing some of these native ad platforms to actually show ads on your site. And we'll get into that a little bit later toward the end. All right. So now some of the technical things behind native advertising. Native advertising, you have to bid whatever platform, and we're going to go over 2 platforms that I use, but there's a ton of them out there. But what you want to do is you want to bid. So if I'm trying to sell a jump rope, okay, new technology jump rope, I'm just making this up. I'm going to have a picture, just like I had mentioned on this MSN.com sponsored ad, and I'm going to have a headline. And, you know, it could be the jump rope that Walmart doesn't want you to see. I'm just making this up as we go along, but something intriguing, and we'll get into how we do that. And then when somebody clicks on that, it'll take them to wherever I wanted to go. It could be a sales page. It could be directly to Amazon for that product page, or wherever I wanted to go. It could be an opt-in page. But you have to understand that you have to bid for those spaces. So what you want to do, and we'll get into this, as you continue to see the results of your advertising, you can up the bid, you can lower the bid, you can stop it on certain platforms. So if it's not doing well on MSN.com, don't run it on MSN.com, but you have to get feedback before you get that. So there are 2 portions or 2 phases to native advertising. If you just want to be an advertiser, like I do, that's fine. But if you have a website that you want to monetize, you can get with one of these native ad platforms and they can start serving ads on your website and you can get paid. But let's go now to the 7 steps to exploding your business using native advertising. All right. So step number 1 is determine your objective for your ad. Determine your objective for your ad. Okay. Are you looking to sell a product or a service? Are you looking to build a database with an opt-in form? So you need to determine what the purpose of the ad is for, what your objective is. Okay. Based on your objective, you're going to change the wording in your ad. So that's number 1. Step number 2, you want to create an interesting headline or series of headlines. Okay, and I mentioned this on an earlier show. So one of the platforms, I'll tell you right now, 2 platforms that I use. I use Outbrain, OUTBRAIN.com, Outbrain.com, and Taboola.com, TABOOLA.com. Those are the 2 platforms I use. Outbrain is my favorite. I actually like that a little better, and I don't really use Taboola as much. But what you want to do is these platforms are self-learning. So, and let me give you an example. So one of my hair care products, all right, I sell on Amazon and I sell on my own site. So what Outbrain suggests in the back office is create 7 to 10 different headlines and create 7 to 10 different photos. So when you're on MSN.com or any of the websites and you see a picture with the headline on it and you click on it, that's what they're talking about. So let's just make the numbers even. So if I have 5 pictures, different pictures, I could have a picture of the product itself. I could have a picture of a young lady, a white young lady, a black young lady, whatever. So if I have 5 pictures and 5 different headlines, what Outbrain is going to do, they're going to combine those and they're going to create 25 different ads. Okay, so for each picture, they're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the headlines. All right, so you're going to have a total of 25 different ads. And the reason that Outbrain does that, and Taboola and a lot of the other platforms, is so they want to be able to test what's the most efficient and effective. So it's almost self-learning. You don't have to really do anything because they'll serve the ads on the platforms and they'll give you the data 24, 48 hours later. You'll start seeing data about how many clicks, how many impressions, and things of that nature. So the ad combination along with the headline combinations that are working, they're going to start to serve them more. Okay? So step number 1 is determine your objective for your ad. Do you want to get leads? Do you want to sell something? Whatever. Step number 2, create an interesting headline. Okay? Or headlines for your ad. Step 3, find compelling or interesting images for your headlines. All right, and that's what I was just talking about. It's a combination of images and headlines. And that's how they create the different sets of ads. Step number 4, determine where your visitor will land when they click on the native ad. And this is very important depending upon what you're trying to do. So I'm on this MSN.com site, and I mentioned to you the article I'm looking at. The picture is a guy with a bunch of money in his hand, the fastest way to pay off $10,000 in credit card debt. And I click on the ad, and it takes me to comparecards.com. Now, he could have taken you to any site that he wanted to. He could have taken you to an opt-in page where you had to put in your email to get a lead magnet or something. He could have taken you to a blog post, which I do on some of mine, and we're going to get into that a little later. Or he could have taken you to a sales page. So step number 4 is you need to determine where the visitor will land when they click on your native ad. All right. Step number 5, and I recommend this, I would build my database with an opt-in page. So when they click on my ad, I somehow want to be able to grab their information. If I'm paying for pay-per-click, once again, you always want to build your database. So if it's something in the hair care industry, if I'm selling one of my hair care products and I want somebody to build my database for that, I'm going to find a reason for them to have an opt-in. Maybe it's going to be a coupon for a discount on the product or something. But I want to build a database. All right. That's step number 5. Step number 6, review your data and only run ads to profitable sites. Now, I just mentioned that a little bit earlier. So what happens is when you run with Outbrain, it's going to give you statistics daily. It updates like every couple of hours, every 2 hours. And it'll show you what ads are running or working well and what platform that the ads are working on, because you have the ability to show your ads on mobile, desktop, on mobile, desktop, and laptop or pad. So, for example, if you're trying to sell products, most times people will buy on a laptop or desktop. They're not necessarily going to buy. Studies have shown they don't buy as much on the mobile phone. They buy it off of a laptop or desktop. Laptop, pad, or desktop. Laptop and pad are the same things. I'm just using that as the same thing. So you might not want to run, if you're trying to sell a hair care product, you may only want it to show to desktop and laptops and not to mobile ads, because people don't, actually the numbers show people buy, they may find something on their mobile phone, but they actually buy through a laptop or desktop. All right. But you'll figure that out. Okay. So that's step number 6. Review your data and only run ads to profitable platforms and profitable sites. So you'll also see in Outbrain the data from what sites your ads were shown to, and it'll go by different ads. So remember, you have 25 ads. So it'll show this ad and it'll show how it's done on CNN.com, ESPN.com, whatever sites it goes to. And then after you look at that, you can determine okay, it's not doing well on ESPN.com. Let me stop having them serve it there. So you click a button and it won't serve to that platform anymore. So you're talking about, after you're getting data, you're able to pinpoint what platform, what website are my ads working and what ads are working the best. So now you have the information to laser in and start putting money to where it's going to make sense, as opposed to be putting it over everywhere. So that's why I like Outbrain. And step number 7, and we're going to go through these again, and I'm about to give you guys some examples. You want to retarget. So you can have pixels in these ads. So if somebody goes to your site, they click on it, then they do an opt-in form, or they go on to your blog post, you can have pixels in there, and now you can start to retarget with Facebook. So we're going to go through these steps real quick, and then I'm going to give you some true life examples and some pros about why to use native advertising. So step number 1, determine your objective for your ad. You're trying to get leads, you're trying to sell something or whatever. Step number 2, create an interesting headline or headlines. Remember, you want to make sure that you have a compelling headline. Now, the way I teach my students to do it is go to AOL.com. I know it's old, people don't hardly use it anymore. MSN.com, places like that, and look at how some of the headlines are written. They're intriguing headlines. They make people want to click. All right. So create an interesting headline or headlines, a series of headlines. Number 2. Step number 3, find compelling or interesting images for your headlines. All right. People will notice if you have a compelling image and a great headline, people are going to click on it. Step number 4, determine where the visitors will land once you click on the ad. So you can have them land to a blog post. You can have them land to a sales page. You can have them land to an opt-in page. You can have them go anywhere you want. All right. Step number 5, I would recommend building your database. Okay. So I would try to have some type of opt-in if possible, because you want to build that database and be able to remarket to these people that clicked on your site. Step number 6, review your data and only run ads to profitable sites and on profitable platforms. So both Outbrain and Taboola will tell you if your ad is being clicked on mobile, desktop, or laptop. All right. So once again, you may not want to run it on all 3 of the platforms. And it's also going to tell you what websites, the statistics on your click-throughs on the specific websites that it serves your ads to. So you're going to know 2 very important pieces of information. You're going to know what platforms, mobile, desktop, laptop, and what websites that people are clicking on. So now you can focus your monies on the platforms and the sites that you're getting the clicks. So it's pretty simple. And step number 7, you want to retarget. So you can put Facebook pixels or pixels in your advertising. And that way you can start running retargeting ads with Facebook. And retargeting is usually 70% more effective than just, people clicking on your normal ad. So I mentioned the two platforms that I use, and I'm really only using one right now called Outbrain, OUTBRAIN.com. Taboola, I do use it a little bit, TABOOLA.com. All right, now here's some of the pros for using native advertising. Everybody's talking about content creating. You want to build up content, right? Content marketing. So you got to write all these articles and whatever, and you're hoping that through organic search that you're going to move up the rankings, the SEO rankings. But what native advertising does is it bypasses all of that. So it puts your article or your picture in your headline on popular websites. And if you have an intriguing photo and an intriguing headline, compelling headline, people are going to click. So now you don't have to sit there and write 3 articles a week per se. Now, if you do that, that's great. All right. So one of the biggest things is you're bypassing your organic search process and content marketing, because now you're being put right in people's faces. And if they have an interest in whatever your product or service is on that ad, they're going to click through. Now, that's one pro. Number 2, native advertising is not intrusive like banner advertising. Once again, the click-through rate on banner advertising is getting lower every day, every minute. Every minute I'm talking right now, is getting lower. So it's not intrusive. Remember, it's non-disruptive, and it's in feed. So a lot of times people will think that's content from CNN.com, ESPN.com, MSN.com, sites like that. So it's not intrusive. Another good thing is that with native advertising, it's a pay-per-click model, not pay for impressions. It's funny. One of my clients was working with an ad agency, and they were charging him. He got 300,000 impressions for like, $4,000 or something like that. And out of those 300,000 impressions, he only got 96 clicks. Now, 96 clicks. If he would have bid 85 cents at 96 clicks, come on, he would have paid $81.60. But he was paying $3,000 to $4,000 for impressions. Impressions, yeah, they're great and all that, but you don't want to pay for impressions. You want to pay for clicks. And that's what Outbrain does. It allows you to pay per click. Okay. Another benefit is you can retarget, as I mentioned, with Facebook. And also you can determine what platforms you'll be seen on: laptop, mobile, desktop. Okay. And those are the biggest reasons to look at native advertising. And like I said, you're bypassing your organic search process and the content marketing, because it takes a long time. It takes a long time for your content to get registered or ranked via SEO. So now you're using the benefit of these large sites that people trust to put your information, your ad, on those sites. So you're reducing the lead time because you're going right to the major sites that people go on. Now, let me tell you about one of my native ad campaigns that I'm using for it's a nootropic. All right. And it's like a brain food. It helps you focus and supposedly helps your memory. It works pretty well to me. I've tried it obviously before I put it out there, and I like it. So how my process works is, what I've done is I've created a series of native ads. I have 7 pictures and I have 7 different headlines. So that gives me a total of 49 different ad templates, okay, that Outbrain is going to serve. And the platforms that I'm only going on are desktop and laptop. I'm not doing mobile, okay, because once again, statistics show people don't buy off of mobile. They may find you on mobile, but they usually buy off a laptop or desktop. So the native ad then goes to a blog post on a website that I created. I created a generic website that has all types of different articles: health and beauty, travel, entertainment. And I just created a name and I put up all types of different articles on there. Now, for this nootropic, once they click on, they go to a blog post on this website. What the blog post is, it was written by a friend of mine that actually is not a reporter, but a journalist. So she wrote the article for me, and interspersed in that article are links to my product. So it gives an outline of what nootropics are, who, people that use them and things of that nature, and how it's helped people, and some examples and interviews that she's done with people. And throughout that article is interspersed a link to my brand of nootropics. So when they click on that link, they go to my sales page. All right. Now, one thing I didn't do in this scenario is I didn't do an opt-in page. I didn't want to have too many clicks, because they're already clicking on the native ad. Then they're going to the blog post within my website. Then they have to click through to a link to buy. So I didn't want to add another opt-in. And that's actually, but I do have retargeting. So once they hit that blog post, I'm retargeting. So it's been working very well. And the thing that I like about this is, and you guys have to start crunching your numbers. With the nootropic, I'm doing free. and $6.95 shipping for the first 30-day sample. If they don't cancel, then they get billed $29.95 the following month. So even though I'm spending ad money for my native ad and I'm not making much, if they do try to sample, what the objective is that, okay, they'll take the $6.95 sample, and then next month they'll get it again, but I'm getting $29.95 each month thereafter. So you have to remember, with native advertising, you're going to be spending up front. So you need to make sure that you have the bank to handle that, or you have the revenue coming in. Now, that's one example. Now, I have a client that I work with who's a big law firm in Philly. And, they make tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars on personal injuries. So what we did was we created several articles. One of the articles was about car accidents and how to maximize your payout from a lawsuit. So it talks about what you need to look for in an attorney, and it gives you several different things that you need to do to maximize your potential payout in this lawsuit. And of course, it has a link to that company's website. And actually, the blog post is on their website, but it's a separate blog. And so that's been working very well. So they have I think they have 5 different headlines and 5 different pictures. And they've been getting tremendous amount of response to it. And this is a service business. And they're getting the calls, they're taking down the information, and they've been very successful. Now, remember, with one case, they're going to make thousands of dollars. So they don't mind spending a ton of money on advertising. So that's what I said. You have to understand what your budget is and what your constraints are. So if you're making, like on my product, the one I'm talking about, my nootropic, if I'm only making $6.95 up front, $6.95 up front, I'm banking on the residual each month. But if that residual doesn't come, that means I'm losing money, because it's taking me more than $6.95 to acquire a customer. So you want to look at things like that. So that's how native advertising, guys, can really blow up your business, because what it's doing, it's attracting people that have an interest in what your product and or service is. And you're not bombarding them with intrusive advertising. They're going through some of these sites. Your picture and your headline pop up. Oh, let me check out this, knee brace or whatever it is. Oh, how can I get more money? I was just in an auto accident. How can I make more money in the lawsuit? So they're going to click on something that's applicable to them. Now, what you have to determine is, where do they go from that initial click? Are they going directly to a sales page? Are they going to an opt-in page? Are they going to a blog post that you created? You just have to determine what that is. And once again, always remember to test. So a lot of times I'll test different sequences. Okay. Excuse me, guys. I had to get some water there. But I'll test different sequences. And I'll test directly from the native ad to an Amazon sales page, directly from a native ad to one of my own e-commerce site sales pages, directly from a native ad to a pre-framed sales page, which it has a lot more information, and then it has an option to buy. Then I have others that go to native ad to blog post with links to my sales page. One of the things, if you're selling higher priced items, you're going to need to have some type of pre-framing, meaning some type of education around what you're selling, what your product or service is. If you're selling an item for under $20, you probably don't need that much pre-framing. And it seems like $20 is the, I know in the malls, it's the mark that a lot of these carts and kiosks go under, because people will carry a $20 bill in their pocket. So that's really more so of an impulse buy. But if you're looking to do or have a larger selling product or service, then you may need to pre-frame that sales process and educate them before they end up making that step to actually purchase your product and or service. So Now, those are the benefits of native advertising. And once again, if you go to Outbrain.com or Taboola.com, I think Outbrain's platform is a little simpler. It's pretty easy, and you can set up an account there, and you can. Yeah, and the great thing is you can set your daily spend. So it's almost like Amazon. If you do Amazon pay per click, so you can put, I'm going to bid 50 cents for this ad set. So every time it comes up, my maximum bid is 50 cents. You may not get it. You may have to increase your bid, and you can have a daily maximum. Okay, 50 cents, per ad. That's my bid, but I don't want to spend more than $25 a day. And so the system will not serve you after you hit 25, or serve your ad, after you hit $25 or whatever your threshold is. Or you can set a time limit. I want to run this for a week. Say you have a big promotion coming up about something. You want to run it for a week and you want to spend $1,000 for the week. Then the system will ask you, do you want to break it down $1,000, for, divided by 7 days? Or do you want it just to go and serve in as fast as it can to get that $1,000 ad spent? So these are some of the ways, guys, that you can circumvent content creation and organic SEO by having your ad placed on these popular sites and then driving traffic directly from the sites. And once again, it looks just like a regular ad on those sites. Now, the only thing about Outbrain that you are not able to do as of now, you're not able to determine what sites that your advertising is going to show up on. Okay, because they have a network of hundreds of sites, a lot of big sites. Okay, but what you can do after your ad starts serving, it does show you what sites that it's been served on and the statistics from each site. And then you can pare down and determine, okay, these 3 sites, I'm really getting a lot of click-throughs. Let's keep working with those 3. And then we're going to shut off the others so it doesn't serve to those other 10 sites or whatever. So that's how native advertising has helped me grow my business like crazy in terms of my product businesses. Like for some of my stuff on Amazon, what I'll do is I'll run a native ad to an opt-in page to get a discount coupon for the product on Amazon. So in order to get the coupon, they'll go to my opt-in page, which has a little bit of information. My last one on one of my hair products was 30% off. And you go in and you opt in. And as soon as you opt in, it'll give you the code. Then it actually has a link right to my Amazon web page, sales page, so they can just go in, copy the code and click it in there, and bam. So that's worked very well for me. But once again, that was on a low priced item. I don't think that will work on a high priced item. So you have to determine what your sequence is going to be. But native advertising, guys, it's been around for a couple of years. I know you've seen it. You may not have recognized it when you saw it, but that is something that we really need to focus on to start exploding and driving business or traffic to our sites. Once again, you're bypassing the organic SEO stuff. You don't have to write 3 blog articles every week for organic SEO. So what I do, like I said, I have a dummy WordPress site, not a dummy site, but it's a generic site with different articles in different categories. Now, all the articles don't have links to products because I don't want every article, if they go on my site, I don't want them to go through all the articles and all the articles have links to products, because they'll know that, okay, this guy's just selling something. Some of the articles, like some of the travel articles, are just generic, that I curated from other places and changed it up a little bit. Some of the articles are product based, like my hair care and the nootropic article. So they click the links in those blog posts, and it's going to take them directly to a sales page. But that's how you make native advertising work. So native advertising combined with Facebook retargeting, man, if you have a great offer, you're going to make money. Well, I'm not going to say you're going to make money because I don't know what your product and or service is, but you have to do the due diligence and you have to have enough margin in your product or service to be able to advertise. Now, I just talked to one of a BEB family members. He had sent me a question about advertising, doing, CPA advertising, cost per action, like with Max Bounty. And one of the things that you have to realize is if you don't have a lot of money to advertise, you're going to need to be able to get that money back when somebody buys your product and or service. So if you're doing an affiliate sales with Max Bounty, a lot of times they don't pay out for 30 to 45 days, meaning that you have to run ads and cover those ads for 30 to 45 days before you see dime number one. Or if you have your own website or your own products, digital, physical, whatever, brick and mortar, if somebody goes through your native ad and buys the product and you have PayPal button on your site, you'll get the money right then. So these are some of the things that you have to think about and determine when you're using native advertising. How much money do you have? What's my profit if I sell 1 unit of whatever I'm selling? Is it enough margin for me to advertise? And that's really not with native advertising. That's with any type of advertising. So that's something that you guys have to think about. But that's today's show, guys. It's 7 steps to exploding your business using native advertising. Don't sleep, because we're always behind. I mean, native advertising has been out for about 3 or 4 years. Now they have some newer platforms that enable small guys like us to be able to, partake in native advertising. Originally, when native advertising came out, it was for big media companies that, they want you to spend $10,000 a month in ad spend to even use their platforms. But Outbrain, Taboola, and some other platforms allow smaller businesses to do the same thing. So once again, 7 steps to exploding your business using native advertising. Number 1, determine your objective for your ad. Are you selling something? You're trying to generate leads or whatever. Step 2, create an interesting headline or series of headlines. Step number 3, find compelling or interesting images for your headlines. Remember, with Outbrain, if you have 5 images and 5 headlines, they're going to create 25 ad sets for you, different ads. All right. Step number 4, determine where your visitor will land when they click on the native ad. It could be a blog post, a sales page, a landing page, an Amazon sales page, wherever. Step 5, build your database with an opt-in form, if possible, if it makes sense. You don't want people going through too many steps. And step 6, review your data and only run ads to profitable sites. Remember, with Outbrain, you have different platforms. It can run your ad on mobile. It can run your ad on desktop, and it can run your ad on laptop. All right. And when I say laptop, that's the same as a tablet. That's what they consider the same as a tablet. All right. Those are the platforms. It'll also show you what sites and the statistics from each site that your ad is run on. And so when you look at those sites, if it's not doing well on these 5 sites, stop it from being served on those sites. Only focus your energy on sites that are making you money or getting the clicks. In step number 7, you want to retarget. So you can always add your Facebook pixel to retarget those people that clicked on your native ad. Hopefully this was helpful, guys. Once again, one of the things I would recommend, just if you want to look for headlines, go to AOL.com, scroll through their pictures. They have great headline writers. MSN.com, they have great headline writers. So you can mimic those type of headlines for your product or service. And also, I want you to start checking out. So when you go on MSN.com, look at the ads that say sponsored. Usually on MSN.com, it'll be a little yellow box and it'll say sponsored. You click on that box and that's a native ad. And you'll see what process that company is using. And I'm going to tell you, if you continually see the same native ads on these sites, that means they're making money. Because if they weren't, they wouldn't be running the ads. All right, that's today's show, guys. Before we close out, once again, please continue to spread the word about Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, the podcast and the blog. We got a great guest coming on next week. We had to push it back. It was supposed to be this week, but we had to push it back. We had some crazy weather and some travel arrangements got messed up, so we had to reschedule. But if you need to connect with me directly, Jay Jones at blackentrepreneurblueprint.com, JAYJONES at blackentrepreneurblueprint.com. So anything in detail or a long question, feel free to email me there, or just, whatever. You can just email me anything you want. But if it's long, it's easier for me to respond on email. Facebook, Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. Twitter, JJones001. Instagram, J Jones for real. That's J Jones 4 REAL. YouTube, Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. I love you guys. See you same time next week. Peace.